of Venezuelans that they wanted to be in support of their president, of their revolution, of the legacy of Hugo Chavez, and to send a message to the imperialists that they're not going to intervene, they're not going to put a lackey in power, and these are the warrior people. These are people of Simon Bolivar, of many fighters in Latin America, and they're willing to defend their revolution, regardless of the contradictions. Like I remember when I visited the communes, the communal councils in Venezuela, which is like a different type of like ideas and ideology that comes from the grassroots of knowing how to community build, community ownership. And the people in the communal council, I would feel like, the people there are like, I would say it's like the backbone of the Bolivarian Revolution. I would say this is like their version of socialism that they're trying to create, that's separating from the bureaucracy, from the bureaucratic character. And they understood very well that, even if they feel that they're more far left than Maduro, they understand that they have to vote for Maduro, because if the other person gets into power, this game is going to be lost. It's kind of like a big reminder, and we're going to have the next speaker, coming from Nicaragua, the Sandinista Nicaragua, paralleling what happened in Nicaragua in the 90s, late 80s, where the Nicaraguan people were forced into election because of the whole Contra war, the whole sanctions, and the Nicaraguan people had a gun to their head, and they had to vote the Sandinistas out, and they had Chamorro, and they had this neoliberalist party for 15 years that rolled back the whole gains of their revolution. I say that because it parallels to this right here, the United States, with Venezuela, that the people did not want nothing to be rolled back, and they wanted to maintain this project to continue. But anyhow, it was just amazing overall. Like I said, I felt this inspiration, this motivation from the people of Venezuela, of how they also decided to engage this problem. I feel like, I think about that we're going to have a speaker here from the DNC from Chicago. Chicago is a city that has a lot of history, working class history. From the Haymarket Martyrs, the creation of May Day, and one of my favorite revolutionaries, Fred Hampton. Fred Hampton has a very interesting quote that I like to parallel. He said, you have to fight like fire with water. You fight like racism, not with racism, but with solidarity. You fight capitalism, not with black capitalism, but with socialism. And it's the same thing with the Venezuelan people. They decided to fight fascism, not with fascism or aggression, but with popular democracy, with being out in the streets, mobilizing. And how last week they had another election, they had a consultation on the communes. It's kind of a way of protesting against the U.S. with them saying that they live in a dictatorship. In what dictatorship can the people decide their faith or where the investments of the wealth of their country, goes into? So this is what Venezuela is. It's an inspiration. It's heroic. It is the Venezuela that Simon Bolivar strived for. I've read a lot of his writings in Spanish, and he has a very interesting card called the Letter of Jamaica. This is during his time when he was exiled in the Caribbean. Very good. I want to bring up this point because it's very interesting, because Haiti has to do stuff with this. Haiti is involved in this. The Haitian Revolution is very important here. But when Bolivar was exiled to the Caribbean, to Jamaica, he wrote a letter called the Letter of Jamaica, where he calls for the unification of Latin America, South America, and he aspires Venezuela to be heroic. And that right there is Bolivar's aspiration, which the Venezuelan people are achieving under the Bolivarian Revolution and continuing the legacy of Commander Hugo Chavez.